and welcome. My name is Eva Dunlap Lewis, and I'll be guiding you through your Communities Connect engagement platform training. Let's get started. All right, I think we're ready to go. As a reminder, I am using Redwood Terrace Connect on my computer through the downloaded application. Redwood Terrace Connect looks the same when you're using an Android, for any version of the downloaded application on computers and through a web browser. However, if you're using an iPhone or an iPad, then my screen, what I see up here, will look different from what you see. Not very different though. I'll walk you through those different steps to take as they arise. And also when we do our 30-minute follow-ups, the screen displayed will be that of my iPad. So it will be a little easier to follow for iPhone and iPad users in the follow-up trainings. However, those are not recorded. I highly suggest if this is your first time watching this lesson, you simply keep your eyes up here on my screen and watch what I'm doing. We'll take plenty of time to practice during our follow-up Zoom trainings, which again are not recorded. If you have watched this lesson before, please feel free to follow along with your device in hand as best you can. Are we ready to go?
Ready to go.
All right, let's jump right in. During this training and while in these cubes, we'll do the following. We will view the main page of maintenance and what we find there. We'll place a maintenance request. We'll view past maintenance requests. We'll view the main page of housekeeping and what we find there. We'll place a housekeeping request, and we'll view past housekeeping requests. We'll also talk quite a bit about the home page and notifications. We will go through in that order, and we'll start with reviewing the main page of maintenance and what can be found there. On my screen, on this home page, which if you're using an iPhone or an iPad, the layout will look a little different. For one, my cubes go down the right side of the screen. iPhone and iPad users, you'll see your cubes appear horizontally and you have to swipe to see them. So we're going to start in the maintenance cube, which looks just like this. It's a gray cube, dark or charcoal gray, and it's got a wrench and a screwdriver on it. Once we see that cube, we click it or tap it to open it. Now here we are on the main page of the maintenance cube. This is what we see when we open maintenance from the home page of Redwood Terrace Connect. On this page, we can see two buttons, Your Requests and View Requests. So place requests and your requests, I'm sorry. For some reason on iPhones and iPads, these are in reverse order, but you still have the same buttons. Typically within a cube on the main page, we can find other important information and attachments from the department heads when we scroll down. On this page, the maintenance page, we see DirecTV channels. So that is some extra text, something that the maintenance department at Redwood Terrace wants us to see or have access to. In the future, you might find other information about ongoing campus remodeling or any updates of that sort. A little message to Amanda and Alexandra. As I've been teaching this cube, I've found that it's really helpful if the content managers can add right at the top, this cube is managed by, and then that individual's name or the department's name. For urgent maintenance requests, please call, and then giving either the front desk or the maintenance office. Because as we'll learn and talk about shortly, when we place a maintenance request, if it's something really urgent, then the best way to go about handling it right now is to call in. Right? Because they might not see those right away. So let's get back to this little attachment right here, the DirecTV channels. If I click or tap this text, then I see an attachment. Does anyone know what an attachment is?
Yes.
An attachment is usually a file. It could be like a flyer or a letter or a memo. It's something that's meant to be viewed separately. So when we click or tap DirecTV channels from the maintenance cube, we have this attachment, DirecTV channels. We can click it or tap it, and it will show up our DirecTV channel lineup. Okay, so here we can see all of the channels for DirecTV at Redwood Terrace. We could print this by hitting the print icon in the top right. If you're using an iPhone or an iPad to print this, you would hit the share icon, which is a box with an arrow coming out of it. You can typically find the share icon, a box with an arrow coming out of it, in the bottom left or the top right corner when you're looking at an attachment. So you hit that and scroll down and select print. Please note that for either device, when we're printing, we need to have a printer connected to our network. I don't own a printer, so if I tried to print this right now, nothing would happen. To get back to the main page of maintenance, iPhone and iPad users, I believe you hit done in the top left or top right. For me, I'm going to hit the back arrow in the top left. So now I'm back to the main page of maintenance. This is how it looks as of today's date, the 24th of March, 2022. If you're watching this video lesson in the future, you might notice some changes to your maintenance cube. Now let's go on and talk a little bit about the process of placing a request for maintenance. To start, we click or tap Place Request. The screen changes and we're taken to the Place Request form. On this page, we don't have to fill out the location, but that actually might change. A message to Amanda and Alexandra, other communities have actually enabled it so that they can request maintenance to other parts of the campus. The choices are my apartment, or they'll see their apartment number, or other. So you guys may have this option in the future to change it from your apartment to other. Now, what would be the benefit of that? Can anyone tell me?
You have a light out on your way at night.
Hey, that's a great one. If you saw a light out on your way out at night, or if the sprinklers weren't working somewhere, or there was you know, a, a piece of pipe sticking out of the ground for any reason at all, you might want maintenance to know about something like that. So are Amanda or Alexander in the room?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Do you know why you guys don't have that enabled? Is there a specific reason?
I'm not really sure about that. I mean, we can ask, Katie, but when it was set up originally, we didn't have that option, I guess. I don't really go into maintenance much because I'm not really in charge of maintenance. We have all the department heads that are in charge of each cube in charge of their cube, pretty much.
Beautiful. So that's
Yeah,
a change that we would probably like to see. It gives residents the ability to just request maintenance for somewhere else on the campus, which they seem to really like across other communities. So I'm going to put that in my weekly report so that Katie and Melissa can be aware of that and hopefully show you how to do it.
Okay.
So thank you. Now, I'm about to put in a fake maintenance request, right? I don't actually have an apartment at Redwood Terrace. So who wants to tell me, what do I need done? I'm going to let you decide. Can someone speak up? I have a maintenance request. What is it?
Please say the question.
What was that? Did I hear washing machine out, or did I just make that up?
Oh, you made that up, but with a wash machine, you might want to let the technician in your apartment when you're not home put an X up there.
Okay, so I'll use that example. I'll say that my dishwasher is broken. That's going to be our example. For right now, when you do this, you're going to see under location that it's actually going to say your apartment number. I don't actually live at Redwood Terrace, so it shows me my apartment. Now, our first option on the form as it is now is to either allow or disallow technicians to enter my apartment even when I'm not at home. By checking this box, we are saying I would like to allow technicians to enter my apartment even when I'm not home. For iPhone and iPad users, it's a circle, so you would tap the circle. If you leave it unchecked, then the technicians will not enter the property without you being there. This will also indicate whether or not they schedule the appointment with you. Maybe, Amanda, if you can tell me, do your technicians always call, or do they only call when you don't allow them to be there without you being there?
I wouldn't know that. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
So for the most part, what I've seen across other communities is that technicians, if you say that they can be there anytime with or without you there, then they don't call to schedule it. They'll just show up. But if you don't want them there and you've accidentally checked off that you're not, that it looks like this, that you're okay with them being there without you, then you can click that box or that circle again and it will remove the check. For this example, I'm going to check it off indicating that I would like to allow technicians to enter my apartment even when I'm not there. My next option is to choose the room, right? We have to select the location of where the maintenance is needed, by which room. I'll hit choose from list. iPhone and iPad users would hit choose, and then we get a list. So we have entryway, kitchen, living room, master bedroom, guest bedroom, bathroom, toilet, closet, deck, and other. For this example, we said that we need our dishwasher fixed, so that's probably in the kitchen. So I'm going to choose kitchen. All right. Next on the form, we have type of issue. We hit choose or choose from list, and we get a whole list of issues that we can choose from. Appliance repair, AC heating, electrical, fire system, light bulb replacement, paint, pest control, plumbing, structural, or other. So if you have an issue that's not on this list, then you would choose other. If my dishwasher is broken, what do you think I choose?
Appliance repair.
Good, you said it loud and proud. I love that. Appliance repair. Finally, we have this large text box at the bottom where we can give details about our request. If we selected other for any of the information above, then we want to add that in here. For instance, if we selected other for the location, which you guys don't have the option of doing yet, but you should in the future, then we want to say what part of campus the maintenance was required in. If we selected other for the room, then we want to type in what room we need the maintenance in. If we selected for other for type of issue, we want to detail that issue as best we can. We always want to provide our technicians with as much information as possible so they can be prepared for our service. In this form for the example, I might write something like dishwasher is model, I'm going to say XYZ because I don't know. And what's wrong with our dishwasher?
It doesn't empty at the end of the cycle.
Beautiful. Doesn't seem to empty at the end of the cycle. So we would fill in any other information that we thought was important for them to know. For this example, I'm going to say, please disregard. This is for training purposes. Mark as completed instead of canceled. Thank you. Because I don't actually live at Redwood Terrace, so I don't want them walking around the campus looking for a unit that instead of a number says my apartment. Now, when I'm done filling out this form, if you're following along and you've made up a phony maintenance request just like I have, then you're going to want to hit cancel. Cancel for me is at the bottom of the screen. If you're using an iPhone or an iPad, then cancel appears in the top right corner. It's important to cancel a request if you don't actually need it or if you change your mind, because once the request is submitted or requested, the only way to cancel it from that point on is to call maintenance or the front desk and have them cancel it. After reviewing our form here, we want to hit where it says request. For iPhone and iPad users, it says submit. But again, please don't submit anything or request anything if it's not something you actually need. I'm going to go ahead and hit request, and regardless of our choice, after you've made your submission or canceled your request, you'll be returned to the home page of Redwood Terrace Connect. Now there's some new piece of information here. It was not here at the start of our lesson. Does anyone see it? Can anyone tell me what's new here?
Appliance repair request.
Beautiful. Who said that?
That,
Jack?
yes,
Thank you, Jack, for being such a wonderful participant today. So Jack noticed that under today, on my screen up here, it says appliance repair because I just requested that maintenance, see the maintenance icon right here, come and fix an appliance in my unit. Now, the option to see today for computer, browser, and Android users is at the top of the screen. If you're using an iPhone or an iPad, you'll have to scroll underneath the cubes on your home page, and then you'll see today's schedule. Today is where you're going to see any birthdays. You'll get a notice when the mail is in. You'll see any requests and also any activities that you've signed up for. Anything that you're interested or signed up for, if it's on that day, you'll see it under today or today's schedule. So that's kind of neat. We can see that today I put in a appliance repair. To see previously placed requests like the one that I just did, from the home page of Redwood Terrace Connect, we want to go back into the maintenance cube. Then tap or select, so here's maintenance. And instead of place request, I'm going to hit your requests. So I hit your requests. The screen changes and we see a chronological overview of all the maintenance requests we have placed so far using Redwood Terrace Connect. If we've called in a maintenance request, would it show up here? Does anyone know?
I'd say yes.
Typically, no. This is only going to show us the requests that we have made through our Redwood Terrace Connect. It's also important to note, oh, I'm sorry, do we have a question?
So you're saying that, I just lost the word we weren't using.
If you called in a request, it likely would not show up here.
If we called it in.
Right.
yeah.
Oh, okay, you have to do it on the screen.
To see it here, right.
Okay.
So, and that's typically because the front desk wouldn't be logging in under your account. They would just be making a request and inputting your name. So it wouldn't be under your Redwood Terrace Connect account. It's also important to note here that if you're using an iPhone or an iPad, then you have an active filter on here only showing you your maintenance requests from the last month. So iPhone and iPad users might want to change the filter. The filter is in the top right. You would hit filter and change the start date to an earlier date and time to see a longer length of your maintenance requests. But when you're using the web browser version or a computer or Android, we don't have that filter on here. It's also important to note one more thing. If you place a maintenance request and then you also call in a maintenance request, that's going to create some confusion. It'll create a duplicate work order. So what might happen is that they keep the one from the front desk, which wouldn't show up here, but they cancel the one you put in on the form. So don't make duplicate requests because it can be kind of confusing. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Now, if I want to see more information about this maintenance request, I can just click it or tap it. And it's going to actually take me to the maintenance request. The status right now is requested. That means that nobody's seen it yet. Once the maintenance team sees this, it will change. Instead from blue requested, it'll be yellow in progress. And then once it's completed, it'll say done in gray. Occasionally, you'll see canceled. Like for instance, if you did a duplicate request, it would show canceled in red. I get to see canceled a lot because I make a lot of these requests at different communities that I don't actually live in. We can see all the information that we input on that form, right? It's for Eva Lewis, that's me. The type was appliance repair, requested on, and it was today's date and time. The location was my apartment. The room was kitchen, and it says maintenance may enter the apartment even when the resident is not at home. I also see Works Hub synchronization is active. That just means that this work order that I input on Redwood Terrace Connect is going into their software platform called Works Hub, so that they're getting the work order. When using a computer, a browser, or an Android to see this and to look at our Redwood Terrace Connect, we have this option for Create PDF. If you're using an iPhone or an iPad, you won't have this Create PDF option. So I can click or tap Create PDF, and then just like the attachment of the DirecTV channels we looked at earlier, we could print it using the print icon up here. We could download it and save it to our device. And when we're done, we can hit the back arrow in the top left to return to that individual work order. To get back to all of our previously placed work orders, we'll hit back in the top left. This is the only one that I see. It's still just requested. There has been no change to it. I'll hit the back arrow again. I'm back to the main page of maintenance. From here, I can hit home from my menu, which on my screen is located at the top of the page, right here, home. For iPhone and iPad users, home is located at the bottom of the page. That's where your menu is. Now, once we make a request, we're going to receive updates about that request. Once it's changed from requested to in progress, we will receive a notification, which is something else found in the menu. My menu is at the top of the page up here. iPhone and iPad users, your menu is at the bottom of the page. So we tap notifications. And then in notifications, this is where you're going to get alerts to any changes for activities that you're signed up for or interested in. You'll also see any changes in your service requests. So here's one that I made at a different community. Dear Eva, we finished your IT support request for other. Or this one, Dear Eva, we finished your housekeeping request furniture move. Dear Eva, your maintenance request light bulb replacement has been canceled. Please contact staff for additional information. Again, mine get canceled because I don't live there. If I wanted to delete any of these, I could just hit the trash can icon. And I'm going to hit the X to get out of this. So we'll talk about that again when we look at housekeeping. Are there any questions on maintenance or placing maintenance requests? No? Okay. Then let's move on and talk about housekeeping. I like talking about these cubes in the same lesson because they operate so similarly. With the housekeeping request, you can request special housekeeping. So this does not include your regularly scheduled housekeeping appointments. It's just for those extra requests. We'll start by opening the housekeeping cube, which is an orange cube with a mop and bucket on it. Once you find that orange mop and bucket, you click it or tap it, and we're taken to the main page of housekeeping. Here, Amanda, I would recommend that you let your housekeeping team members know, for the sake of transparency, they just put on here who manages this cube and what to do in the event of a really urgent request. So we have two options right now on housekeeping. Another item that I've seen in other communities' housekeeping pages is a list of all of those extra housekeeping services that are offered. That's been really helpful to residents. So I would recommend adding that as an attachment, just like in the maintenance cube, we had that extra attachment on there for the DirecTV channels. That would be a good list of something to have on housekeeping. On here, we have two options as of right now, today's date, the 24th of March. We have place request and your requests. Let's go ahead and click or tap place request. This is what we do when we actually want to place a housekeeping request. The screen changes and we have another form, just like the one that we filled out for maintenance earlier. In the future, this one will be slightly different because we will never have the option to request housekeeping outside of our apartment. Right? The location is always set to my apartment. If you're following along, then you're going to see your actual apartment or unit number. The first thing we have to do on this form is indicate whether or not we're okay with technicians entering without our presence. So the option says, I would like to allow technicians to enter my apartment even when I'm not at home. If we're okay with that, and we give that permission, then we check the box or tap the circle, whichever one we see. If we accidentally checked it off and we didn't mean to, we can just tap it again and it'll go away. For this example, I'm going to leave it blank, indicating that I'm not allowing technicians to enter my apartment when I'm not home. So next we have type of issue. We hit choose or choose from list. All right, Jack, you tell me, what do we want today?
Cleaning.
Just a general cleaning? Okay. On the list, we have cleaning, floor care, waste removal, furniture move, make the beds, pick up donation, and other. Amanda, can you tell me, does your housekeeping team actually do the pickup donations?
No, they just, I think what the residents do is just drop off at the front desk or something, right? Yeah.
Okay. I have seen at other communities that the maintenance would pick up a donation if necessary. Okay. So this option will likely be removed in the future. If we have something, an issue that is not on this list, then we would choose other. But we said that Jack told us we just want a regular cleaning. Now we have this large text box where we want to give as much detail as possible about what we need. Jack, what do we need here?
Got a mess in the bathroom.
There's a terrible mess in the bathroom.
His bathroom.
There's a terrible mess in Jack's bathroom. So we can't.
Make a mess in the bathroom.
So thanks for keeping this clean, guys. This is going to be on the training video, but at least it'll be lighthearted. Okay, so that's our example and we're sticking to it. In this example, I'm also going to add, please disregard. This is just for training purposes. Thank you. Please mark as completed. So that they don't actually think that. So we cannot request cleaning outside of our own apartment, right? So even if Amanda's office was just a total wreck all the time, we couldn't send the cleaners there. I'm sure you're a very clean person though, Amanda. Very tidy. So cleaning only can be requested to our own units. Now, once we finish with this, if you're following along and you're making a fake request just to do the form, then I want you to go ahead and hit cancel, which for me is at the bottom of the screen. But for iPhone and iPad users is usually in the top right corner. It's important to note that if you put in a request and then you change your mind about it for some reason, you don't actually want that service, that you'll have to call the front desk or the housekeeping department. So be sure that when you're ready to send this, you hit request or submit. You'll see submit if you're using an iPhone or an iPad. I'm going to go ahead and hit request. It takes me back to Redwood Terrace Connect, the home page. And what do we see that's new here, team?
New cleaning request.
Yeah, under today, which again, if you have an iPhone or an iPad, you got to scroll down to see it. It's under today's schedule. But under today, I have the appliance repair, it's requested, and I have cleaning, and that's requested. So this is the third time I've done this training at a community today. Because it's a little bit later in the afternoon, I would expect that it's going to take a little bit longer to see any of these requests. But in my previous trainings, we were getting responses. These were changing to in progress or canceled like immediately. So if you have an urgent request, definitely call. Something that absolutely cannot wait. Because usually, I think that they said the goal was around 5 hours to actually address any of the requests made on Redwood Terrace Connect. So from here, if we want to see any of our previously ordered requests for housekeeping, we're going to go back into our housekeeping cube, the orange cube with the mop and bucket. And instead of place request, we'll hit your requests. And this is where we see a chronological list of all of the requests for housekeeping we've made in the past. iPhone and iPad users, you've probably still got a filter on there that only shows you a month at a time. So instead, you would want to hit the word filter in the top right. And then change the start date to an earlier date. To see more information about this work order request that we made, then we want to click it or tap it. And we're taken into the request page. So this all should look familiar. The status is still requested for Eva Lewis. The type was cleaning. The comment is, there's a terrible mess in the bathroom. Thanks for that, Jack. Please disregard. This is just for training purposes. Thank you. Please mark as completed. That was my comment. It was requested on Thursday, March 24th at 4:38 p.m. for my apartment. This is showing WorkHub synchronization is active. Is just showing that it's integrating into their WorkHub's ticketing system so that they're going to see this. I could create a PDF here if I wanted to print out the work order, but that option is only for iPhone and iPad users. Or sorry, that option is only for computer, web browser, Android users. To get back, I'll hit the back arrow in the top left. And I'm back to the Your Requests page. To get back to the main page of housekeeping, I hit back in the top left. And this is the main page of housekeeping. To get back to the home page of Redwood Terrace Connect, I hit home in the menu, which for me is at the top of the page. For anyone else, it should be at the bottom. So as notifications come in and alerts come in about those tickets, where will we find them? Does anyone remember? Notifications. We'll find them under notifications, which for me is in my menu at the top of the screen. But if you have an iPhone or an iPad, you'll see notifications at the bottom of the screen. So we'll get alerts to any status updates or changes about our work orders, and also for activities that we've signed up for or that we've marked ourselves as interested in under notifications. We'll also, if it's the same day that we book the service, on our homepage of Redwood Terrace Connect, we'll see it actively change from requested to in progress. And the color changes too. So in progress is in yellow, and then done is usually gray, and canceled is red. Alrighty, team, are there any questions or comments about placing a maintenance request or a housekeeping request via Redwood Terrace Connect?
You said that there was a list, for like maintenance or whatever, but do you,
I said that I recommended to Amanda that she add a list or have the maintenance and the housekeeping team add a list as an attachment to those cubes. I've seen it at other communities as an attachment under maintenance or an attachment under housekeeping, and it's been really helpful to residents, but you guys don't have it yet.
well, if, say, I requested that Jack's toilet problem
Okay.
would be,
If you requested it, it'll show up then.
it will show up there. So all of Redwood Terrace,
Well, just yours.
No, just yours, right? Like you guys don't see my requests on your page.
okay, okay.
All of Redwood Terrace will see the birthdays happening.
Yeah.
But they won't see any of your requests or any of your activities.
Okay,
So don't worry about that. Nobody's going to know.
okay, thanks.
Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to leave you here at Redwood Terrace Connect, the homepage. Keep an eye out on your information cube for more video trainings, and I'll see you next time.